Hey friends, it's Matt here. I want to just tell you about piano lessons 1 through 9 and the bonus content so you have an idea of what's included here. So I've opened up the course as a subscriber, and you can see I'm just going to scroll through here. There's quite a lot of stuff, and so it's impossible for me to give you a real breakdown of everything that's in this course because there is just a ton of material. And that's why I always tell people, even though I call this piano lessons 1 through 9, it's really probably like if you were studying with me, like 30 weeks of material. But the thing to remember is if you're walking through this step by step, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I've had many students online as well who have worked with this same material. So I've been very careful to structure it in a proven way that's very step by step so that you know that you're going to be led along and you're not going to be kind of left in the dark anywhere. Every concept I introduce, I make sure to build on previous concepts. So keep in mind, I'm not going to cover everything here. I'm just going to give you a taste of things. And if anything looks confusing, I promise you it won't be confusing when you get there in the actual material. That's just the nature of it, is that you have to kind of grow step by step when you're studying the piano. And one of the advantages of this is not only have I done this a long time, so I know it works, but I've laid it out here in a really logical order. So one of the really cool things about taking lessons online like this is if there's something that you want to come back and review, you can. Like if you're say here in lesson 5 and you want to come back and review something in lesson 4, you can do that. Whereas if you were studying one-on-one with me, you would actually have to wait until the next week, ask me a question again, and then you'd just be kind of paying again for that same material. So let me just give you a taste of a couple things. Now, most of you are probably familiar with piano lessons 1 through 3, and if you're not, go ahead and take a look at the course curriculum on this page. If you're looking on the course page, it's on this page, and if not, there will be a link to the course page. Look at the course curriculum, and you'll actually see lessons 1 through 3 already opened there for you, so you can actually take a look at all those lessons. And you've probably already done that. Most people who have signed up for my piano blog mailing list get those lessons. So lessons 1 through 3, you learn the white keys at the piano, you learn the basics of counting, posture, and then we work on Ode to Joy and adding a left hand to Ode to Joy. If you haven't done that, I definitely suggest taking a look at those lessons because they're free whether you enroll or not. And then in lesson 4, we start to get into some really cool stuff. We get into note reading, which is something a lot of people have asked about. So actually how to read music. So I talk about the concepts of reading music. I talk about more technique, as you can see here. And we talk about writing the very first notes that you're going to read at the music. And I pulled up just one screen. So this is just one module here. And you can see here I'm talking about how the notes line up. And I go into that in depth. And so any of these things here, when you click it, you actually get an extended lecture on that particular subject. So each lesson has many modules in it that build one on the other. And then at the end of almost every lesson, we introduce a new piece of music. So for example, here in lesson 4, we've just learned how to write 3 notes. And right away, we're going to learn how to read those 3 notes. And so you can take a look here. I show you first how I write it out, and then we sketch out the entire piece of music. And then in the next section, I actually give you a tutorial on practicing this. So you can see here I have it written out here, and I'm giving you a really extended tutorial on this music. And that's really important to keep in mind, is that when I give you any music in these lessons, I don't just throw it at you. Like, I give you a very extended tutorial on how to play it, and that kind of integrates everything together. So that's all just in lesson number 4. Okay, so now lesson number 5. We have some more technique. We talk about some legato and detached thumb position, which are 2 technical concepts. And then we have another new piece that we talk about. In lesson number 6, it's the same thing, except we have more notes. So we learn how to read all the way down to bass C. and we write out the Ode to Joy. So if you've learned that Ode to Joy melody, I'm going to actually show you how to notate it. So by here we're getting more advanced, right? And we learn a new piece, Old Russian Song. And then lesson number 7, we learn even more notes, how to notate more notes. We do some more writing of Ode to Joy. And then we have an extended review of lessons 1 through 7, where I go back and review all those concepts that we've learned so far. And again, I haven't even gone into most of the concepts because I don't want to overwhelm you here. Then in lesson 8, we start getting into some really interesting kind of theory concepts of skips and steps and sharps and flats, which is like more extended note reading. I have a tutorial here on a new piece of music, and for example here I'm showing you some theory material on steps and skips. Now that is not going to make sense if you're new to music, but like I said, it will make sense when you get there in the actual tutorials. And then in lesson 9, we even start to move our hand position to other parts of the piano. So we get into some extended reading and some extended techniques there. So there's just quite a lot of material. And then on top of it, what I've done is I've thrown in 2 modules from my piano technique series. And these are really extended modules that you see here on piano technique. So there's a lot of stuff here to review, and a lot of people tell me that they come back for quite some time, because when you enroll, you get lifetime access. So you enroll once and you can come back for as long as you want to review different material. Even if you get more advanced and then you want to come back and review something, make sure that there's a fundamental that you want to have in place. It's really, really helpful. So I hope that you'll join me in these lessons. And like I said, you know, you're getting here probably, it's really thousands of dollars of material if you were studying with me in person. So it's quite a discount, and you can review it for as long as you want. But if you choose not to, please still enjoy the free stuff here. And I'm just really glad to have had you as a reader of Piano Blog, and I appreciate you watching. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me, and I'll see you soon.